being a coon, shucking and jiving to the moon. I've learned that thief has never learned, so I jump ship just to let him burn. I fly looking lame for the coon. Say what wrong with go. Shucking and jiving on the righteous edge, on the righteous edge. Shucking and jiving on the righteous edge, on the righteous edge. Live it up on the edge, on the righteous edge. Live it up on the edge, on the righteous edge. I love being a coon, shucking and jiving to the moon. I love being a coon, shucking and jiving to the moon. I love being a coon, shucking and jiving to the moon. I love being a coon, shucking and jiving to the moon. I've learned that thief has never learned, so I jump ship just to let him burn. I fly looking lame for the coon. Shucking and jiving on the righteous edge, on the righteous edge. Shucking and jiving on the righteous edge, on the righteous edge. Living up on the edge, on the righteous edge. Living up on the edge, on the righteous edge.
Song, and it is one of my new favorite songs of all time. Now, here's the thing. Today's whole lesson, and what I want people to grasp is, whenever you do something right as a black man, whenever you choose what is righteous instead of what's popular, whenever you decide you're not going to be like everybody else and you're going to stand for something and have some morals, they will label you a coon. They will label you Uncle Tom, Sambo, Porchman, whatever they want to call you. All these different stupid names that they have, they're going to label you that. Here's the thing. I don't care. I'd rather be labeled a coon than be like some of these ignorants out here. Be like some of these ignorant children who act like fatherless people because they are fatherless, a lot of them. I'd rather be labeled a coon than act like them. Now, what does the black community, what are they good at doing with terms, negative terms? They recreate them to be something positive. So we are coons here, and coon stands for cultivating our own narratives. We cultivate our own narratives. We don't take the narrative that they have for us, and if the narrative that you guys want to push is black, ignorant, thug, twerking on top of cars, if that's who you are, that's not who I am. I will cultivate my own narrative. If that makes me a coon, then so be it. I'd rather be one of those than be whatever you are. So who's gonna call me that? Who's gonna label me that? Whatever you want to call me. Whatever you want to do. I'm no longer bothered by, my dad taught me something when I was a young lad. And it was that I have to respect your opinion for your opinion to hurt me. I'll say it again for those who don't understand and need it to be said slow. I have to respect your opinion for your opinion to mean anything or be enough to hurt me. That means if you're somebody I don't respect, why would I care what you think about me? Why would I care what you think about me if I don't respect you or your opinion? Of course, I don't respect your opinion, so I don't care what you call me. Now, some of the things we're going to get into today are perfect because they go exactly into what it means to stand against the narrative that black people and black culture has painted of itself. Black culture is trash right now. Nobody has presented me with an argument to say black culture is anything but trash. Everything we do in black culture is trash right now. What we push in black culture is absolutely trash. From the music, what drill music, from twerking music, it's not even twerking music. You know what it is? Prostitution music. Every girl rapper right now is a prostitute. I'll have sex with you if you give me enough money. And they're proud of this. This is what we push in the black culture. Unruly kids, anytime they go somewhere, running out on bills, not tipping well. This is black culture. Tell me it's not. It is. If everybody thinks that about you, and then your music pushes is it what you put on your t-shirts, it's what you put on your programming when you watch movies. Everybody loud and ignorant and has to be laced with profanity, everything we say. If that's what we portray in our entertainment, in our music, and what other people think of us as, that's black culture. I'm sorry to tell you. Now, can you change that? First thing, you have to acknowledge it. Second thing, you have to be willing to set yourself apart from that and don't care what the people who want to stay ignorant think of you. Don't care about their opinions. Part of the problem with black culture is we have churches that tell us that it's okay to act the way we act. They encourage us to stay in our ignorance. So therefore, when we act ignorant, the thing that's supposed to set the boundaries is actually encouraging us to go deeper into our ignorance because we have churches that don't spread the gospel anymore. They're actually focused on getting money, making the pastor rich, doing a dance in front of the church, pastor sleeping with all these different women. And that's just church culture to us. Church culture is supposed to not necessarily be black or white or Asian. It's supposed to be about the gospel of Jesus Christ. And because it's not anymore, there's nothing that holding us in line. It used to be that black people were the people that were of the church. We were more married than any other group of people in the early 1900s. We were doing better as families than we ever have than anybody else in this country. And now look, we let our churches get watered down. We don't follow the word of God anymore. And that's because we don't respect the word of God and we don't have fathers. Fathers who are supposed to be your spiritual leaders are no longer in the home. So let's go to our first video, Mr. Producer. A test of faith and funds. Bishop Marvin Winans. Yeah, my fault. It's not rewinded, but yeah.
Roberta McCoy, giving faith and stand in unity with the vision of perfecting church of sowing this seed of $1,000 plus $235 and receiving the blessings to come to all that participated.
Now that's only $1,200.
Yes.
Y'all not listening to what I'm saying. If you have 1,000 plus 1,000.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna work on the other 800.
Well, that ain't what I asked you to do.
Okay, so as you see here, there's this bishop there, and he's having a public. I hate when churches do this. This is also another thing that is not biblical. To make your whole service focused on people coming up and getting adorations and praise for how much they put in offering. The Bible clearly says not to do that. It clearly says not to do that. Jesus talked and he gave parables about people who did not have much to give, about the widow and her mite. She didn't have anything but what we would label like a penny nowadays. And she gave that, and it was all that she had. The story of Elijah, when he went and he talked to the widow and her son, and all they had was one little canister of oil. It wasn't about how much you gave, it was the heart you had behind it. Now, some people who are going to take that and say, that's why I don't tithe. No, you idiot. Go to a good church and tithe to a good church that is following God's will so you can support the ministry of God. What he's doing, he's calling people up and he's making the whole service focus on the glory you get for yourself on giving. That's nonsense. And too many black churches with idiot pastors like this are going out and making a whole ministry around how much you can be blessed if you give to the Lord. You can give to the Lord, and then he'll reap blessings upon you. The Lord's anointed. These people use these fancy words and don't even know what they mean. All this spiritual gobbledygook talk and haven't read a lick of the Bible in the church. But they singing songs. Oh, they singing, ain't they? They singing. They shucking and jiving up there. Sure enough singing. That's a gospel song, because that got a gospel sounds. Not gospel lyrics, but gospel sounds. They's really singing. They got the gay dude up in the choir. He's snapping his fingers. This is what church has become to the black culture. Tell me it's not. Tell me you can't go on a church in the hood somewhere and somebody's singing a song and ain't a lick of the word of God been preached. 90% women, most of them over 50, wearing hats, and it's a fashion show. But ain't nobody talked about the word of God, don't even know the books of the Bible. The kids don't know anything. They coming in there dancing up the aisles, but they don't know the first thing about the difference between the Old Testament and the New. They don't know anything. So then you got Pastor Bishop Marvin Winans. And what does he say specifically? He said, oh, you gave 1,000, but I asked for 2,000. What is this? And I hate to say it because people use this as an excuse, and there is no excuse not to follow God. But the excuse that a lot of people give is, this is why I don't go to church. Clowns like this. And part of me doesn't want to tell them, yeah, I understand. But then part of me is like, yeah, I understand. I understand, bro, because you go to a church and this your grandmama church. And then you see nonsense like this. And instead of doing your due diligence and finding a good church to go to, nope, you stay at that church and think that's how all churches are. You think that that's the word the Bible must say to do this, to have people come up and get adoration and praise for giving $2,000 instead of $1,000, and to bring a kid into it, because that's what they did in the video. A kid is up there witnessing this. Now, if that kid grow up and say, you know what, I'm an atheist now because every person of God, they're only about the money. It'd be hard to blame them because you got idiots like this false teacher. Let's read, Mr. Producer, and we could pull it up on screen. Some verses that pertain to this.
Yep. So 2 Peter 2, verse 3 says, and in their greed they will exploit you with false words. Their condemnation from long ago is not idle, and their destruction is not asleep. This warns of false teachers who infiltrate the church and are driven by greed to deceive believers for profit. But wait, there's more. Titus 1:11. They must be silenced, since they are upsetting whole families by teaching for shameful gain what they ought not to teach. This refers to rebellious false teachers, especially those motivated by dishonest financial motives.
And then my favorite, the last one.
1 Timothy 6:5. And constant friction among people who are depraved in mind and deprived of the truth, imagining that godliness is a means of gain.
Imagining that godliness is a means of gain. They're in it for the wrong purpose. They are not sharing the true gospel of Jesus Christ. How do you know they're not sharing the true gospel of Jesus Christ? Because the Bible says the Son of Man, Jesus Christ, Lord of Lords, Kings of Kings, had nowhere to lay his head. He wasn't rich. Anybody telling you that the Bible's about this, name it and claim it, and you can just be rich, and God wants you to be rich, and the followers of God will not struggle. That's nonsense. Every one of the disciples, every one of the apostles, none of them were rich. If you ask me why I'm doing this channel, yes, I would like to get paid from that. I would like to make some monetary gain, but guess what? If it doesn't happen, I'm still going to do it because I think that's what God is leading me to do. Until he tells me otherwise, I have more of a ministry than these fake pastors do. You think they would be in church if somebody was outside their church with weapons telling them you worship God and you will die here? But he got his fancy suit begging for another $1,000. It's sad. It's really sad. Let's read some about Mr. Bishop Marvin.
So Bishop Marvin Winans, a prominent gospel singer, pastor of Perfecting Church in Detroit, Perfecting, and member of the influential Winans family, has faced several public controversies over the years. These range from allegations of financial pressure on church staff to recent viral backlash over tithing practices and legal disputes over church property and theft. Below is a summary of the most notable ones, based on available reports. Note that Winans has not been personally charged in any criminal matters, but has been at the center of civil suits and public scrutiny.
Let me say this, and this is something that if you've been a follower of the channel for a while, you already know. My dad is a pastor. He's been on the show. I want to bring him on again. I want to bring my mother on and my sister on as well to show you what a true Christian woman looks like. Because my wife is just not. No, I'm joking. My wife is a great Christian, godly woman. The best one I know, to be honest. But I said all that to say this. My dad's a pastor. And what really, really angers me, what burns me up, is knowing the sacrifice my father took to lead us as a godly family. We went without because he started a church, and he started his church in our basement. The first house we had it wasn't that big. We had a basement, and the church was started in the basement. And because of that, we didn't have a lot of, when the church started to grow, we didn't have a lot of the things that the other kids had. We didn't have the new Jordans. We didn't have, matter of fact, we went to Goodwill to get our clothes. We got secondhand pass-me-down stuff. We never had new shoes. Never. And it wasn't because my dad didn't work hard or we were in poverty. It's simply because he valued the ministry of God before he valued getting us new clothes that would fade by next month. He never once went out and bought us name brand stuff. If we wanted name brand stuff, we had to go get it ourselves. The nicest clothes we had was church clothes because that's what he valued. My mom would call them Sunday go to meeting clothes, Sunday go to meeting shoes. Now, here's the thing. The reason why it makes me so angry is because I know that he did that to sacrifice for the ministry of God, for his calling. He was called to be a pastor by God, and he sacrificed for it. And then when I turn on the TV or I turn on YouTube or I turn on any website that shows these idiots out there doing these things for financial gain, when my dad sacrificed and our church is not even a fraction of the size as this idiot's is. This idiot is out there leading people astray. And yet more people go to his church than a godly Bible-believing church. Let that sink in for you. We can continue reading.
So there was these are just some of the things that he was involved with. There's a housekeeper tithing lawsuit from 2018.
Yep.
A former housekeeper at Perfecting Church filed a lawsuit against Winans, alleging he demanded she donate 10% of her salary as a tithe to the church. When she refused, she claimed she was fired in retaliation. The suit accused him of creating a hostile work environment and violating labor laws by tying employment to religious contributions. The incident sparked discussions about tithing scandals in megachurches, with critics labeling as coercive. The case highlighted tensions between personal faith practices and employment rights. And the outcome of this all is Details on the resolution are limited, but it drew significant media attention at the time. This was back in 2018. In 2023, just a couple years ago, the city of Detroit sued Winans and Perfecting Church after the congregation's new $40 million facility sat unfinished for years, becoming an eyesore with complaints about blight, safety hazards, and unpermitted construction.
Dang.
Wow, he didn't have any permits. The project, intended as a state of the art worship center, stalled amid funding issues.
State of the art. Had to be state of the art.
$40 million. Winans defended the delays as logistical challenges, but faced public criticism for mismanagement of donor funds. The lawsuit was settled in June of 2023, with the city dropping claims after progress was made on the site.
Okay, so dude has been involved in all this nonsense. And he's one of those people, that's why I got this picture here, tithe for your blessings. That's the type of pastor he is. He's one of these, if you tithe more, if you give more money, God gonna bless you more. Is that what the Bible says? In that way? Because somebody will say, yes, the Bible says that where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. The Bible does say that if you give to God, he will multiply it. But here's the problem, and this is where you guys misinterpret the scripture. That doesn't always mean monetary. Sometimes the blessing that God gives you is more patience. Sometimes the blessing that God gives you is perseverance. Sometimes the blessing that God gives you is the joy from doing the right thing. And most of all, this is one that you will get every single time, is stored up treasures in heaven. Not on this earth, but in the next. So when you see these people saying that if you give to me, God will turn it back tenfold, they're lying to you. If they're telling you, if you bless me today, you look in your bank account tomorrow when you're gonna be blessed. That's a lie. One of the saddest things my dad ever told me is that when he went to Africa, they were teaching prosperity gospel. And the people were soaking it up, and they lived in abstract poverty. The types that we couldn't even fathom. They lived in such poverty that people, this is what he told me when he went to places in Africa. He went to Cape Town, South Africa. He went to a couple other places in Africa. And he visited the outskirts, not just the main cities. He said some people lived in so much poverty that one dude ate a banana and threw down a banana peel, and someone else picked it off the ground and ate the banana peel. Now, you would think that's funny, but I don't really think that's funny, man. Because what place is there for you in hell when you go to people in that type of poverty and tell them, give me all your money and everything you have and God will make you rich? Tell me that is not evil. Tell me, just explain to me how that is the gospel. Somebody, please, I want to debate one of these manifested preachers. I want to debate. I will have you on. I will pay for you to get here. I want you to explain to me in the scriptures how that is the gospel of Jesus Christ. So, I think that was all that we had from his history.
We got a couple more.
You can read that.
Yeah, there's something from 2 years ago up to some recent times here. In June of 2023, Winans filed a police report accusing Shania Watson, also known as Shania Brown, a church employee, of stealing funds through wire fraud. Federal investigators later charged her with embezzling money intended for church operations. The case involved allegations of fraudulent transfers totaling thousands of dollars, raising questions about internal financial oversight at Perfecting Church. Watson faced federal charges in May of 2025, just this year. That case is ongoing, with Winans cooperating as a complainant. Oh, I keep scrolling and they just keep finding a whole lot more of this.
I got more.
Man, during a recent service, Winans publicly called out a woman. We just saw that video. Called out a woman and her young son for donating $1,235 instead of the requested $2,000 double portion offering, halting the proceedings to highlight the shortfall in front of the congregation. He emphasized the importance of full tithing, saying something to the effect of, the request was for 1,000 plus 1,000, which was captured on video and went viral.
That's insane.
It's just insane.
And the thing about it is, not the lady was with her son. Here's what, and I am going to be harsh. So for those who say, "Oh man, as a Christian, you should be," this lady's an idiot for bringing her son up there. If this was not the perfect example of you need to get up out this church, what are you doing there with your kids, lady? Why are you at this false teaching church? Bring your son up trying to impress the pastor, trying to impress the reverend, the bishop, all these names, and they don't know what either of them mean. He coming up there, and you bring your son and it set a terrible example for a man who was totally ungrateful, and he got his hand out saying, "That ain't what I asked for." What? This is a bishop to y'all? This is a dude who y'all say, "That's the Lord's anointed. You better not speak." I'm speaking against him. He's a false teacher. I dare somebody to come up here and say otherwise. I don't stand for falsehoods on what is the greatest message that has ever been, which is the gospel of Jesus Christ. I was saved by the gospel of Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ came into my life and he changed me from being dead to alive, and I will be darned if I let somebody else taint that gospel message. I'm not going to let it happen, not on this channel. And when I get big enough, I will call these people out to their face, because they're doing such a disservice to the Black community, for one, to the gospel, which is more important, and to the Christian community as a whole. We need to do better than that. I don't know if you wanted to add anything to that, Mr. Producer.
That was it. Yeah, this guy's definitely
So if you want to talk
interesting.
about,
Yeah.
if you want to talk about the other label of coon, that's a coon to me. To me, that's a coon. Somebody selling out the Black community, somebody shucking and jiving for nickels and dimes, taking the true gospel and using it for his own benefit. That's a coon to me. He not a coon like us. He not a true coon. For those who don't remember, cultivating our own narrative. That's the type of coon we is. The type of coon he is a shucking and jiving type coon. We the type of coon that are going to follow God whether the Black community comes with us or not. So, on to uglier things. So, to talk about some more cooning, a family divided. Mother and 18-year-old daughter explode on each other. And here's what I'll say before this video. For those who recognize, and this, if you grew up in the hood like I did, these type of situations, these type of arguments are nothing new to you. These type of things, the way you hear these two talk to each other, mother and daughter, nothing new. But I'm going to break it down for anybody who does not understand why this is going on. You could play that video.
Are you gonna hit me or something?
What the fuck I'ma hit you for, Samaya? I don't got no beef with you. Your beef is with me.
I don't even talk to you. What are you talking about?
I called you to make sure that you had a ride to work. I don't have to give a damn about you getting to work, Samaya.
No, you didn't. You told me that I had to pay you to get to work, and
I said, do you have some money? Because I don't have none. And then I said, Bug, I got $10. But what I'm trying to tell you for next time is that you can't depend on me to pay my money and my gas to get you to and from work. That's not.
You know what? Pause this, Mr. Producer. What do you gather is going on here so far? You as a white man, what's going on here?
It's kind of loaded there, Jack. But what's going on there really is his mom is mad that this girl is freeloading off of her.
Yeah. So what is the mother's sentiment without expressing her words? What is the mother expressing right now?
Well, she's a little frustrated and angry and disappointed, I think.
Do you
Because
think that type of anger is warranted?
I'm not sure about that exact situation there, but I don't think it's warranted to that extreme.
Exactly.
I mean, there's a way to handle things and there's a way not to, and that's a way
Yes.
not to handle
That
it.
will be the not way.
Yes.
Let's play that. Look at
You
her
can't
face.
get
Oh my
mad
God.
because I'm telling you, you gotta buy your own food. You're an adult. That's not my
Her
responsibility.
eyes look
My
unhinged.
mom no more 'cause
Bug, I'm here to help you.
I'm glad you
I'm
didn't
not
say
here
that.
to put your
Why are you
goddamn
helping
bill.
her?
You not my mama no
You
more.
haven't taught me how to drive. You haven't given me that money
Where
to
the
put
fuck
her
do
in
you
school.
sleep?
You
Where
have
the
not
fuck
done
do you
nothing
sleep?
else.
When do you brush your teeth?
Okay, so
Who
what?
been washing your
Okay,
goddamn
so as soon as
clothes?
I graduate, I'm
Bug,
supposed to
I've been taking care of you. I didn't tell
That's
you
what
you
you're
had to
supposed to
leave.
do. Yes,
I
you
You
did.
can pause it. You
You said
pause it
I
now. What is the daughter saying? What is she saying?
Couldn't quite make it out over all that screaming and
Yeah.
screeching.
Now
But
imagine living downstairs and they in the apartment upstairs.
right.
That's the life I lived. So,
mean-
yeah, go ahead. You can say what you was thinking.
Is there's way more going on there than
Yeah.
than what we're getting.
Mm-hmm.
There's something beyond just this $100
Yeah.
and I'm taking care of you stuff. There's something deeper with that. Because I don't see a father in there, dude. Do
That's
you?
the main point.
I mean, that's the
This
obvious.
would not go this far if there was a father in the home. Straight up. Let's just cut to the chase here. The reason why these two women are so unruly, the reason why they let such a simple argument over money darn near come to blows, and it probably will come to blows because here's the thing. Black folk, especially black women, do not know how to de-escalate whatsoever. They don't know how to calm down. They always take it to the next step. If two people are arguing, nobody's gonna be the bigger person and say, "Hey man, you gotta do it. Let's just chill." Nope. They gotta take it to the level where now they're arguing, then they're screaming, now they pushing, then they fighting, now they grabbing weapons, bricks and sticks. Then after that, somebody grabs a gun and then somebody dies. It always escalates like that. Always, I've seen this hundreds of times. When you live in the hood, you know what I'm talking about. And the problem is like, you gotta wonder, okay, well, what's supposed to de-escalate them? What's supposed to calm them down? Here's the answer we're using now. The police. That's what's supposed to calm them down now because nobody has a good answer. I'll tell you the right answer. It's supposed to be a godly husband. A godly man is supposed to check a woman and keep her in line. He's supposed to say, "You are irate, your emotions are out of control, I will handle this. You sit down." That's what a godly man is supposed to do. He's supposed to take his daughter and say, "Calm your silly butt down. Sit in the corner for a little bit. I will talk to your mother. We will figure something out. We'll figure out how to handle this. We'll let you know. No more yelling in my house. No more words. Sit your butt down. Be quiet." That's what a man does to a situation. He calms it down. He lets cooler heads prevail. He tells everyone in the situation, "This is not how we handle this." Here's what happens in the hood in the black community. Ain't no man in the house except the man that's shacking up being a hobosexual with the mother. He's staying in there, and "Oh, that's Jerry. He my mama play friend. He come over there. He drunk on beer all the time, laying on the couch." When the argument come over, somebody say, "Hey, Jerry, man, can you tell her to calm down?" Jerry be like, "Hey, y'all need to stop yelling like that." He halfway drunk. "Y'all need to stop yelling like that." "Shut up. I'll kick you out the house. This is my house. I'll do what I want." How do I know this? Y'all know I'm not lying. This is how it goes. Then the mother and daughter come to blows. They kick the daughter out the house. The police get called. Daughter's walking down the street half naked with a bucket of her property. Bra got ripped off during the fight. Going to her third baby daddy house to stay with him. Call him on the phone. He don't even know what's going on. Hey, the quad. This BIPCH did it again. Y'all know I'm not lying. And Daquan ain't really got no place to stay. He stayed with his mama. This is the mess that black folk are living in. Tell me when I lied about anything I just said. And it's probably even worse because then the whole community get into it. The daughter get her friends that come back to jump the mother while she at Popeyes. It never ends. It always escalates. They cannot calm things down. It's like, this is what we got to deal with. These are the specimens we choosing from to be our brides. I just can't wait to get married to one of these wildebeest, to one of these wild beasts of burden. These creatures. And a wise man once said, hair-hatted hooligans, about to act a fool again. That's what they do. They will not stop until everything is destroyed. They never de-escalate. They only escalate. Let's read, Mr. Producer, the prevalence of father's absence.
So in 2023, that's 2 years ago, 47.5% of Black children, about 5.3 million, lived without a resident father. The lowest rate since 1973.
You know what? Pause there. Think about that. You ever wonder why these little Pookie and Ray Ray is running around your neighborhood stealing your cars, breaking into your house, wearing Pooh Shiesty masks, sitting on top of the car while somebody else is driving? This is why. You can read on.
Yet still more than double the rate for white children, 21%.
Shame. But white people do it too.
Mm-hmm. This leaves Black children disproportionately vulnerable to the ripple effects of single-parent households.
Yep.
Poverty and economic hardship. Over half of African American youth are raised in one-parent, female-headed households, which exacerbates poverty and family instability during economic downturns. Children in such homes face a 47.6% poverty rate, over 4 times higher than in married couple families.
Shame.
For Black families, this compounds intergenerational economic precarity, with non-resident father involvement shown to buffer food insecurity and income gaps as well. 49% of father-absent African American adolescents have repeated at least one grade, compared to
That's insane.
Yes, compared to 24% of those from father-present homes. Additionally, 73% of father-absent Black adolescents report worse than average grades versus just 3.6% in father-present homes. Father's absence is a key risk factor for school dropout, with fatherless children overall 9 times more likely to drop out, a disparity amplified in Black communities. Father absence is the single largest contributor to aggressive and delinquent behavior among African American youth.
Can you read that part again for those who don't believe me?
For those in the back, father absence is the single largest contributor to aggressive and delinquent behavior among African American youth, promoting higher rates of trouble with the law, fights, and school discipline issues, independent of socioeconomic status or peer influences. Boys in father-absent homes are 4 times more likely to face juvenile proceedings, often seeking deviant role models like gangs. Over 85% of youth in prison come from fatherless homes.
Wait, can you read that one again?
Over 85% of youth in prison come from fatherless homes.
For those women out there saying, I could do it all by myself. You ain't doing nothing all by yourself other than destroying the community, you big idiot. I should play the video of monkeys will be monkeys. Just give them bananas. You have more kids to get on more welfare, to take more from the government, and inwardly you're destroying your household, your legacy, your community, you're raising criminals. All because you wanted to lay down with the thug, the cool dude, the dude with the Jordans on. Here's it's so much I could say, but you know what? I'm already labeled a coon, so I might as well just say what I believe, right? They ain't gonna un-coon me. I can't be uncrowned the Coon King. I am the Coon King. That's what I am. So, what these people have done to our community, I don't think this is gonna sound crazy. I don't think dropping a nuke on the black community back in the early 1900s would have been more devastating than the rhetoric that we believe now. Than the stuff, the theology, the worldviews that we have now. I don't think even drop like look at Japan, Hiroshima. Look what happened to them and how they rebuilt. They had a boom in the 1980s and 90s, industrial boom in Japan. And now look at how many things that we buy from Japan. How Japan has restructured themselves. Why can't the black community do that? Tell me why. People always talking about Black Wall Street was torn down by the white man. Every time we build stuff, they did down. They did down. And here's the problem. Build it again. Don't let anybody tear your stuff down. If they tear it down, build it again. If they tear it down again, build it again. Guess what? At some point, they're going to be like, these Negroes is resilient. They will not stop. They continue to get married, to follow God, to build houses, to build homes, to build communities. They're keeping the money involved just like every other community does. They keep the money in the community. Black businesses are some of the best working businesses. They're known for their hard work, their labor, how they stay over without even trying to get some monetary gain out. They just want you to know that their work is better than everybody else. They got such a pride and a sense of passion about what they do. Nope, we couldn't do that. Black men right now, we need to focus on the trades. You don't need a college degree. Go become a plumber like Aaron the plumber. That's one thing I commend him for. Go become a plumber. Go become a HVAC worker. Go become a carpenter. Go become a welder. Do all the things that, guess what? And this is what y'all thinking too small. When you go and you take on the trades, what's going to happen when 90, not even 95, 60% of all trade companies are owned by black people? You won't be able to build a house without us. You won't be able to get your house repaired without us. People going to be like, man, I'm racist, but I still got to go to these black people to fix my house. So I can't be too racist now because my toilet leaking and I need them black folk right now. When you have these skills that cannot be replaced. But what do? Our pride. Not just our men, our women too. I ain't being with no plumber. I ain't being with no welder. I want a CEO. I want somebody who ain't got a 9 to 5. How many times you done heard that stupid nonsense? I want a man that's a thug. I want a scammer. I want a drug dealer. I want a rapper. I want a baller. What you want is a fatherless home. That's what you want. Because a real man, all these people talking about what a real man does, from one real man to another. Let me tell you what real men do. They have character. They value their legacy, their children. They don't have a bunch of baby mamas when you meet them. And then you somehow magically think you're going to be the one to break him of that cycle. Ooh, I'm going to break him. Sharita going to be the one to break him. Yeah, right. It's funny to me. It's men right now who cannot find a wife, but Future got like 9 different baby mamas. Why is that? Is he such a good man with good character that's a good father? Nope. He got lyrics that say, if you catch me cheating, I will never tell her sorry. He won't even apologize if you catch him cheating. That's the man y'all want. Okay. Then you get what you get. This is why a lot of women, I remember I had family members get mad at me for saying this one thing. And I said this and I still stand on it now. If you marry a man that's rich, that's good looking, that smells good, that's super tall, that's the CEO of a company, and that's what you put as the hierarchy of things you chose him on, you deserve to get cheated on. Bye-bye. Don't feel sorry for you. You know why? Because that's not what God told you to choose a husband based on. You are supposed to choose a husband based on his character. Yes, he can have hard work ethic. Yes, he should provide for you, but his character, the character, his ability to be a good father, his love for God more than you. Let me say that again. His love for God more than you. If you don't choose a man who loves God more than you, who has good character, who has qualities of being a good father, because you can have good character and not necessarily be a good father and have responsibilities. If you have all those three things, then you can choose him as a husband. But what do women do? Throw that out the window. I want a baller. I want 6 feet tall. Then you get what you get. And when you get cheated on, I laugh at you. You deserve to be laughed at. No one feels sorry for you. We pretend like we do. We don't. We know what you was doing in high school. We know we saw you. You was with the ballers back then, getting ran through. Now you want to come over here to Mr. Johnson when he's the CEO of a company that he built when he was 14 and started in his basement when he was being a carpenter. Now he got his own carpentry company in 6 different states, and now you want to come over when you got 3 kids. It don't work like that. Bye. We stick with the girls that build with us. That's what men with real character do. So I don't know if we got enough facts. We read all the facts. I put some relevant pictures in there.
Oh, we do have a couple other ones.
Go ahead, you can read them.
So something about substance abuse and mental health. Fatherly absence is the primary predictor of drug use among Black boys. Even after controlling for poverty, parental monitoring, and neighborhood crime, nearly tripling the risk compared to father-present peers. Fatherless Black boys also show markedly higher rates of alcohol abuse starting earlier. Additionally, prepubescent African American boys without fathers report more mood problems, peer conflicts, and difficulty finding joy, with overall mental illness and suicide risks almost tripled.
This is super important. And he says difficulty finding joy. Could that be in somehow related to why we got the giant gold chains on? Why we gotta have the most fanciest shoes? Why we gotta drive these super fancy cars when we in our mama's name because we can't even pay the bill? Why do we do these things? We don't have pure joy because we haven't been taught by a father what's important. A father gives you boundaries in life. A father teaches you, don't pursue this, son. It may give you temporary joy. A father is the one who says, stick with one woman, son. Don't be sleeping all around because that's not going to give you joy. We're searching for these boundaries. Guess what? Sometimes the first place that a Black man gets boundaries is in jail. You wonder why these people keep going back. That's the only daddy they got, is the CEO. The correctional officer. That's the only daddy they got. That's why they keep going back to daddy. They don't know any other boundaries than being locked up. And you wonder, man, why do they keep doing this dumb stuff? It's the fatherhood. You say no to fathers, you say no to community. You say no to the community, you definitely say no to culture. Our culture is trash right now. All right. You want to read this verse? Proverbs 27 or Ephesians 6:4,
Yep.
both of them.
Yeah, so Proverbs 20, verse 7 says, the righteous who walks in his integrity, blessed are his children after him.
Yes, yes, yes.
And Ephesians 6, verse 4 says, fathers, do not provoke your children to anger, but bring them up in the discipline and instruction of the Lord.
Now, here's the thing. This verse specifically speaks to this ladies and son, even though some will say it's talking about 2 fathers. When you talk to your child in this loud ghetto manner where you constantly have to yell, you constantly cussing the kid out, you're provoking them to anger. That's not an instructive disciplinary tone. I never once have to cuss my kids out to get them to listen. I never once have to go and ridicule them. You nappy-headed, ugly, this and that. I've never done that to my children. Not even once. Even in our playfulness, we don't be cursing each other out and using profanity and demeaning each other to that degree. When you do that, you're provoking a child to wrath. Mothers do this to their sons all the time and their daughters, as you saw in the video. And they do that, and then what happens when that son who ain't had the right discipline and been cussed out his whole life, what happened when he get big enough to fight you back? Because all you did is cuss him out and disrespect him. At some point, he gonna be like, man, I'm getting disrespected every time I come around my mama. What's gonna happen to him when he's becoming a thug with thug tendencies and you cuss him out for the last time? He gonna go upside your head, and I'ma laugh. He shouldn't hit his mama. His mama shouldn't have raised a thug and then expected him not to be a thug with her. That's what should have done happened. Should have done, would have done, could have done, but you should have done better. We have a whole community of these fatherless boys. So, I gotta talk about this because our channel being a spiritual channel and whatnot, there is a musician by the name of Doja Cat who responded to devil worshipping rumors. Now y'all see this picture. You pull this picture up. Look at this clown right here. Look at this child of God. Should say child of Satan right here. Look at this. This is what in the
I don't know.
What in the name of all that's sacred is she doing? She just, oh my gosh. So this is from her music video, Demons. And so people have been asking ever since her music video and some of the things that she said before that we'll go into later, does she worship Satan? And I want you guys to pay attention to her response because you'll notice something about her response specifically when she's told to answer a simple question of, does she worship Satan or not? We'll pull that out.
Somebody who works in the store thinks you worship the devil. Is it inside of you to ever clear something like that up, or you just kind of let that be fester in the world as it wants to?
I think about it a lot.
Really?
I think about it almost every day.
What part of it?
Every single part, every time, every pinpoint of when that's happened to me down my career.
Yeah.
It's happened a lot. And I think it's not for me to prove
what
to people who cannot or don't wish to listen.
What?
It's the harsh reality, but I'd like to stay there.
What is she saying?
And I feel comfortable there.
Mr.
Because
pause this for me. Well, it's almost done. I want you to ask me. Oh, you can just refresh it and pause it. Yeah. Or take it back and pause it. I want you to ask me a simple yes or no question. Any question you want. Here, you can ask me.
Wow. Okay.
Anything.
Oh, okay, sure. Are you sitting at this desk?
Yes.
That was
you
easy.
See how easy that was?
That was easy.
Now I'm alive. Can you ask me that same question?
Are you sitting at that desk?
Well, it kind of depends because sometimes when you're kneeling and when you put your feet together and sometimes I'm slide up on it and some people really assume when they see my video that because I slid, you see how stupid I sound?
Yeah.
When it's a yes or no question, that kind of shows you somebody's lying. Do not believe when somebody want to play these games and try to make something more complex than it is. The answer should have been yes or no, and because she didn't answer yes or no, you have her answer. Don't be fooled by these people. She knows exactly what she's doing. Let's go back to her little weirdo demon pictures and see some of the quotes she said in her song Demons. She says, I'll read the first one and you can read some of the other ones.
Okay.
Spirit in my body. I feel like a demon. I don't want to be alone. I need a companion. I wonder what that means. What could that possibly mean? Context. This track explores isolation and inner turmoil during her social media break. The demon line is metaphorical for mental health struggles, amplified by demonic visuals in the video, horns and shadows. Fans and detractors debated as satanic imagery, but Doja called it a cathartic outlet, not worship. Oh, really? Because people who worship
Okay.
Satan would never lie about that, would they? They would never just
Look like that.
yeah, they would never just lie to you because people
Wow.
who worship Satan are known for their honesty.
It's a
They're
hallmark. Yeah.
known as the most honest beings on the planet. They wouldn't worship
Mhm.
anybody called the father of lies. That wouldn't be correct,
No, not at all.
right? So they would just tell you straight up front.
hmm
Because Satanism is not about, secrecy and putting things in plain view but never telling you the truth. That's not what Satanism is about. Satanism is all about honesty, love, compassion, doing the best for your neighbors, stuff like that. These idiots really believe when these Hollywood people come out here and say, I'm not worshiping Satan. They'll tell you straight up, I'm not worshiping Satan. And then they'll go do a video and it says Satan in the background in big red letters. And they all bowing down. I'm not worshiping Satan. And then they cut themselves in a pentagram on their chest. I'm not worshiping Satan. And then they praying to an altar with blood dripping all over. Every one of them, and y'all think I'm being exaggerative. No, people like Lady Gaga have had videos where blood is falling on them and they're doing rituals in the video, and yet they say there's nothing spiritual about it. And y'all idiots out there believe them. They gotta add me to it for me to believe them because nobody ever lies. Especially a Satan worshiper, they would never lie to me. What type of dummy is out there not knowing if she worships Satan or not? When looking at her stuff, looking at her lyrics, looking at what she stands for. If she don't worship Satan, tell me who does. She's all about sexuality. She's all about putting these secret. She's always saying this weirdo. Look at some of her outfits. I didn't even pull some of them up. Look at how she portrays herself sexually. Look at some of the stuff she stands for. This is not a good person. If there's anything anti-Bible, anti-biblical, anti-Christian values, that's her. That's Doja Cat. And you're going to tell me, oh, well, we don't really know. We shouldn't put that on people. And here's the other thing. Satanism and the Illuminati. People get so confused. Oh, the Illuminati, this and that. Listen, stop with this Illuminati secret society garbage. I don't believe in none of that crap. I believe in Satanism. I believe that Satan is the ruler of this world, as the Bible says, that he's around. He seeks those who he may devour, walking to and fro like a lion, like the Bible says. I believe that he lives on this earth and that he believes he is the ruler of this earth. That is true Satanism. Satanism, it wants you to worship yourself and in turn worship Satan. Satan is his offerings, and what he does is he tells you, you can offer yourself to me by doing what you want to do. And then he takes everything from you. We'll get into that more on another show because I've seen things in my life where I know this is true. Let's read from her song, Paint the Town Red.
Oh, yeah. So this is only from a couple years ago. She sings, Devil's on my shoulder, but I don't give a F. He can keep me company. He know I'm a slut.
He knows I'm a slut. She's recognizing there Satan wants her to be a slut. And she's going with it. She's not hiding. She's not mincing words. She says, he can keep me company. He knows I'm a slut. Implying that she might sleep with Satan. He can keep me company. He knows I'm a slut. How is this debatable? Who says stuff like that? Is that just a joke? That's just a joke. Her dressing like a demon, that's just a joke. Her doing satanic rituals, that's just a joke. You want to believe what you want to believe.
Yeah, that's just a joke there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They can't see what you're looking at.
Oh, they can't. Oops, sorry. My bad.
You can show them what.
Yeah, this, going back to this. Yeah, that's just a joke. Okay.
What is she? And we know that's not what necessarily demons look like.
Right.
But it is the representation of what is demonic
Mm-hmm.
in our culture.
Right.
And to take that on is to look and say, yes, whatever is anti-God, that's what I'm about. That's what it all comes down to. You can read the next one.
Well, I just wanted to get to this part again. It's a diss track that
Oh.
samples Dionne Warwick.
I don't know. Who was that?
You remember she was from the 70s? She was like one of Stevie Wonder's friends. You know, that's what friends are for, that whole song there. She's not something I would associate with Satan. It was, it's like a total out of left field there. But it says here that she samples Dionne Warwick, where Doja flips evil tropes, hellfire, devil references to mock haters and assert independence. The video features her in a satanic underworld, but she described it as embracing the villain. Embracing the villain.
This is what Satanism is all about, inverting everything, because what they do, and they're doing this in cartoons and everything now too, is they take what is normally known as evil, what's traditionally known as evil, and you embrace that as good. So now, instead of the princess being good, the witch is the good guy. Now, instead of the beast being the bad guy that needs to be slain, the beast is a good guy. He's just misunderstood. And they do it subtly, even in shows like Shrek, or in shows like Happily Ever After, or whatever the other girl one where the witch is a good guy. They're subtly doing this. And some of the stories I'm not necessarily, I don't even think they know they're doing this. I think it's a spiritual push that they don't necessarily understand. But what it's pushing you to do is to invert. To say whatever is bad is now good, whatever is good is now bad. The LGBTQ movement does the same thing. But you can continue reading.
So she was in an Angie Martinez interview from October this year. So she was confronted with this question.
That's the one we just saw.
Yeah, it's that Hussein video. Do you worship the devil? And the response was, nah, but if I did, I'd be way better at it than you all think.
This is insane.
Wow.
So basically, if I do what I do, I would trick everybody.
Say that you are without saying it,
yes.
basically.
Like, come on now. And here's the thing. I want John 8, when I looked up this verse, it totally fits. You want to read that? John 8:44.
Yep. You are of your father the devil, and your will is to do your father's desires. He was a murderer from the beginning and does not stand in the truth because there is no truth in him. When he lies, he speaks out of his own character, for he is a liar and the father of lies.
If you talk to somebody and ask them, are they evil? Let's be more specific. If you talk to a Satanist and ask them, are they evil? Do they really worship Satan? Oh, we believe Satan is a metaphor, and I'm a LaVey Satanist, and I believe that Satanism is more about freedom. And okay, whatever. You can be an idiot, a useful idiot Satanist, and believe it's about rejecting Christianity, culture, and all this crap. Some Satanists do believe that goofy stuff. But then there's some who say they believe it, but they really do involve themselves in the spiritual rituals. They do involve themselves in hurting children. They do involve themselves in doing demonic activities. And here's the problem. As a Christian, you should not be naive of that. You should not be naive. The Bible says, be wise as serpents, but harmless as doves. Be wise about what's going on. When you see satanic imagery, don't question whether it is or not. You know what that is. When you see people doing things that somehow make no sense, there's a reason for it. When you see the satanic church marching along with the Democrat Party as they did, don't question, oh man, maybe they misunderstood. There's some good Democrats out there. They don't know. They just doing it to make a scene. No, believe when people tell you who they are. Stop playing so that you can get away with listening to the music you want to listen to, doing the things you want to do and not feeling any guilt. No. You know what's right and wrong as a Christian man, as a Christian woman. You know this is not right. And here's my main question. If you know somebody is satanic, if you know music is satanic, stop listening to that nonsense. I remember, and I have to say, this is telling on myself, as a consumer of hip hop, especially when I was younger, I don't listen to much now anymore. But I used to like this dude's beats. His name was DJ Paul. He made some sinister sounding beats. I love that sinister sound that gets you like pumped up in the gym. he used to have these songs, Paul with the 40, Paul with the 45, Paul with the 40, Paul. And it was so hard to me. I used to love these songs. He was from a group called 3-6 Mafia. After a while, I had to turn that stuff off. Not because it was affecting my brain and getting into my membrane. No, it wasn't that. I believe I was protected by the blood of Jesus Christ not to have demonic entities enter my house or enter my body. So I'm protected by Jesus Christ. I'm not worried about that. But I will not let anything that disrespects God around me in the same way that my brother, if my brother Brian, who's been on the show, if somebody came and said, F Brian, you think I'm gonna be friends with that dude? If somebody wore a short shirt that says F Brian, you know that your brother, I got a shirt that says F him. You think I'm gonna be friends with that dude? What if he made a song that says F Brian and everything he stand for, F him, F Brian, and made a song and everybody was jamming out to it? Would I listen to that? That's part of my problem. If you know something is satanic, it is directly opposed to what Christianity is and the message and person of Jesus Christ. So therefore, I can't with a clear conscience listen to some of the stuff I used to listen to because I know it's directly opposing to everything I believe in. There is some gray area there. I think some Christians go too far. I can't listen to jazz music. I don't think there's nothing wrong with most jazz music. I don't think there's nothing wrong with a lot of EDM music that I like. I don't think there's nothing wrong with a lot of rap songs. Some songs are made for fun. But then there's sometimes a clear line where somebody shows you who they are and you gotta believe it. There's people right now who love Beyonce, knowing the stuff she stands for. There's people right now who know Jay-Z. Lucifer, Lucifer, son of the morning. They love his music, knowing that it has undertones in there that's satanic. You need to say no. Have self-control. Make a stand for something. Imagine if it was your father or your mother that they were standing against. And then it's 1,000, if not infinity times that. It's the God of all heaven and all creation that they standing up against. So there's a grandma out there, a sexy grandma, and she put it out there who she's interested in. The reason why I'm bringing this up is not because I care about what this 304 has to say, or not because I think she's attractive, or not because the lesson's not that deep is what I'm getting at. The lesson is not that deep. The lesson, first of all, I want y'all to see the video. Before I even get into the lesson, let's just watch what this clown woman has to say. Can't tell what race she is.
Be playing and shit, telling jokes
You can
and shit all the
rewind it.
fucking time.
Let's
I
listen to
want
what this
Drewski.
clown has to say.
You heard what the fuck I said. I know y'all think I just be playing and shit, telling jokes and shit all the fucking time, but I want him. So I need somebody to give him this message. I ain't no stud. I'm fine though. Like I'm really trying to see what's up with him. I want you, boo. I'm trying to hit that. Listen, and my best friend.
I gotta say this because she's gonna go on this tirade about how much she wants Drewski, this actor, this comedian guy. And I think if she's not black, she look a little bit white to me. But if she's not black, she's definitely taking a page out of the Black Culture Handbook. And here's my problem with that. Why does everybody who imitate black culture or wants to be a part of black culture or deeply intertwined with black culture, why are our women so nasty and masculine? Somebody explain this to me. Somebody gonna say, "Oh, you jealous because she fine." I could care less what she look like. All the women talk like that, whether they fine or not. They all be talking like this. They speak. Oh, I'm gonna hit that. Who wants a woman who talks so nonchalant about sex? The first way you can tell if a woman is a hoe, I'm gonna tell you straight up. The first way you can tell if a woman is such a low down, dirty woman of the night is when she talks so nonchalantly about sex. You know she had over 50 partners. You know her body count is super high because you talk women. If you, I'm giving away some of the game here, but as a man who knows how to talk, right? Who has a certain amount of charisma. When you talk to women, you can assess their character pretty fast. You can tell when they're gonna go. You can tell when they're not really into you. You can tell all that. But one thing you can tell about a woman who talks so loosely about sex is that she does not value it the way a chaste woman would. A woman with some character. A woman with some moderation. She doesn't value it anymore. It's like, yeah, I do this and I do that and I hit that. I'll F him behind the building. They talk so gross about sex. They don't, it's no value to it anymore because they open their legs to everybody and their mama. And so therefore, there's no intimacy anymore. There's no, what's the word? When something is special. It's nothing special about what they have. They've given it away. Sex is just an act to them. All right, you can play the video.
Friends was like, for real, like you could really see yourself with him laying on top of you all sweaty and stuff. And I'm like, hell yeah. He'll give me some head, and then when he come up for air, he gonna tell me a joke. Like,
You
what the
wanna
fuck
pause.
is better than head and joke?
He'll give me some head and then he'll tell me a joke. He'll give me some head and then these women is nasty, dude. Nasty. I could care less. And you know what? Pull her pictures up because she on the dry the yeah. Pull her picture up. She's not a hideous looking woman. She might be mixed or something like that, but she's not ugly. But this is goes to show you Christian men with character. What makes a woman ugly sometimes, especially you need to cultivate your mind to be like this. When a woman shows you who they are, you need to believe them as well. When they show you that ugly side, no matter how they can look fine. But when they open their mouth and they talk so perverted like this, you need to run for the hills. Don't sacrifice your integrity, your character, to be with a loose 304 old washed up woman like this. It's men out there right now, ooh, I'll still hit. That's because you're a man of low character and low integrity. A Christian man need to be like Joseph and Potiphar's wife. When she grabbed onto him, he was like, no, woman, I am that is not for me. You better get away from me. Get your dirty hands off me. These women is nasty, man. They make, and you say, oh, she just making a joke. Why does every joke with our women have to be so sexual? Why you got to put yourself on a platter and let everybody soak it up like that? You just a dirty, nasty person. Nobody. And here's the thing: I could say nobody likes that, but guess what? They doing it because it does work. It's a bunch of loose men out here who will rip her apart and then give her back to the streets. If you are a woman of character, talking like this should not be becoming of you. It should not be becoming of a woman of character to speak this way. And I thought it was so gross because it ain't like she's young. She old enough to know better. I don't know if she's like 55 or what, but they call her grandma. So you got kids and your kids got kids and you still acting like this? This is what's wrong with the black community. They don't never know when to give it up. You see a 55-year-old girl, 55-year-old old grandma in the club twerking it. Ooh, she still got it. No, she don't. She lost it right along with her teeth. She does not have it. Stop. Stop trying to act like she still got it. Ooh, that thing moving back there. Even though she old, she still get. No, she's gross. Take her and her wrinkled behind back home to make some cookies like regular grandmothers do. Stop pumping up this type of behavior. Oh, you still in your queen era. You still. No, you're not. You're in your old hag era and you got some makeup to hide your wrinkles. And when you go jump in the bath and that makeup fall off, you're going right back to the withered old witch that you are. Stop being fooled by this nonsense. Stop not acting your age. Why do I gotta tell you all this stuff? I'm younger than her. You somebody's grandmama out here. Act your age. We could play the rest of the video with this tomfoolery. I'm over here correcting grandmothers now. I should have called Mortimer something to see what he had to say.
Nothing. Like,
I was
if
just thinking the
anybody
same
can
thing.
make me not be single, it's him. Listen, I want you. I got to have you. Everything Danny.
So this is a joke. You can tell that this is a joke. But here's my problem with these jokes. This is joking at the expense of our culture. This is why when I say we are coons, let me scroll up to make sure I get it right. When I say we are coons, we are cultivating our own narrative. We are no longer a part of this culture. Whatever they got going on is what they got going on. That ain't us no more. We're not a part of this grandma still twerking in the club, still wearing tight, skimpy outfits when you should be at home with a husband, by the way. Yeah, that was my actual next point. Why is it that somebody this old, even if she was just in her 40s, because I don't think 40s is old, but I think 40s is the age you should have had some sense. 40s is the age you should be laid up with your husband. It's a reason why these women is always single. Straight up. It's a reason why these women are always single. Talking about she want to get with Drewski. That dude is like, what? Maybe early 30s, late 20s? You an old blank woman. Sit your wither face down. It makes me mad because this is what people look at our culture, and no wonder our marriage is declining. These women want to just go out here, act a fool, and hit on men, and they so forward, and I know it's a joke, but it's a bad joke. Sit yourself down. Be a grandma. Here's another thing. In our culture, we believe, especially our women, they think that being crass and being perverted is cute and funny. And we need to not laugh. We need to laugh at them, not with them. When you see somebody who's alone and they're twerking in a club, point and laugh. And they too old to be up in there, point and laugh. Ha 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 ha, you're a loser. We need shame back in our society. Anybody who's saying that's too mean, it's because we don't have shame and you are not accustomed to shame. Shame used to be the whole community would point and say, this woman's a whore. The whole community would point and say, wow, your father let you do that? Your father, you out here looking like that? You don't take care of your family? You got 6 kids and no husband? You need to stay in the house. It used to be, early in the 1900s, shame was such a thing that if you got pregnant out of wedlock, you would stay in the house until you had the baby and they wouldn't even claim you. You could not go outside with your baby bump without your husband. That was a shame to the family. We need to bring that back. That was a better time. Yes, everything with it too. Oh, it was racism back then. Well, at least we ain't got grandmas out here twerking. Not back in the 1930s. So yes, make America great again. Gosh darn it. Let's read some Bible verses that pertain to this old woman.
Yeah, so from 1 Timothy 2, verse 9. Likewise also that women should adorn themselves in respectable apparel, with modesty and self-control, not with braided hair and gold or pearls or costly attire.
Most women, especially in the black community, we don't know what modesty means. Everybody wearing skin tight clothes. Everybody got to show everything. Wearing these boy shorts that look like you just wore. I've seen this new trend with the young people now. And the girls are wearing like jeans with the buttons open. I don't know who started it, but I'm talking about like unzipped all the way down to where you can see their underwear. And purposely, their underwear is sticking out above, like over to where the jeans are, because they got low cut jeans, and the front is unbuttoned where you could basically, if they pulled their underwear down, you could see the pubic hair if you really wanted to. What is this? There's no modesty. And I'm looking like these kids, I be in my head, because I'm not a pervert and I was raised right, I'm looking like, this girl 15, that's nasty. Nobody want to see that? Take your little young hot pants self upstairs. Go in your house. I don't want to see no young girl looking like that. That's nasty. Not even barely reach puberty and trying to show everything. That's gross. Who want to see? Who is looking at that? That's what my head go to, because I'm a father, but I'll be thinking, who is looking at this chick? Ugh, no. So okay, then we can read the next verse.
This is from 1 Peter 3, verses 3 through 4. Do not let your adorning be external, the braiding of hair and the putting on of gold jewelry, or the clothing you wear. But let your adorning be the hidden person of the heart with the imperishable beauty of a gentle and quiet spirit, which in God's sight is very precious.
Great. I love that, because it's like all the words are what a woman should attain to be. Beauty, gentle, quiet spirit. Yes, quiet spirit. Now, when you think of our culture and our black women, do you think of quiet spirit? No, you don't. I'm sorry to say, you're not being godly. You're not obeying God with the spirit that you're portraying. You get on a bus with a black woman, everybody know her business. If she on the phone, you know the whole conversation in and out. Ooh, girl. And then I told him, girl, I got him told, girl, and I know the F here. Know the F you want. What? I don't care to hear it. A quiet spirit, that's of God. Did you know that if you don't have a quiet spirit as a woman, you're not being godly? I'm sorry to break that to you. A lot of y'all think y'all being godly, you're not. James 1:26, you want to read that?
So if anyone thinks he is religious and does not bridle his tongue but deceives his heart, this person's religion is worthless.
This goes to speak to this woman in the video, the old lady, the old grandmother, talking so crudely, not only about sex, but even her word choice. And then when he give me head, and then I F him, and I'ma hit it, all that crude talk, it's not becoming of anyone, much less a woman. So you see this, the Bible talks about how a Christian, a godly woman, because we use her as a teaching tool for godly women. I highly doubt she's a Christian. But for the Christian women, you are supposed to bridle your tongue. So let's go to Colossians 3:8.
But now you must put them all away: anger, wrath, malice, slander, and obscene talk from your mouth.
Look at this. Is this not what our culture is struggling with? It says, now you must put them all away. Anger. Do we struggle with anger in the black community? Wrath, meaning letting your anger boil into violence. Malice, pretty close to wrath. Slander, talking bad about somebody. Ooh, girl. Obscene talk. This using profanity and coarseness and crude gestures and crude talk. Is that not who we are as a culture? How can you be a part of black culture right now and invest yourself in black culture? Wear the clothes, act like black culture, speak the lingo, and say you're a Christian. How? How? Make the two work together with me. Explain it to me, because I would love to know how you can be invested in black culture and be a Christian. Somebody explain it to me. And it says, put those things away. If you're going to be a Christian, you have to choose a Christian above your race. You're going to have to be a COON if you want to be a Christian. I'm sorry to tell you, you're going to have to be a COON, because you have to forsake all of these things if you want to be a Christian. You don't get to say, oh, I'm a Christian, but I'm also black and black is beautiful and black power, because black culture is totally adverse to Christianity. It is against God. So how are you going to be a Christian and be blackety black? You can't be. Not with our core culture as it is today. Maybe back in the day, 40s, 50s, 60s, 60s, maybe. But nowadays, black culture? I've seen a Christian talking about Christian drill music. Are you crazy? Are you See, I'm about to use the R word. Are you R-word tarded, sir? Are you mentally deficient? Is your brain on break? You cannot be, oh, I'm a Christian and I want to use the music about killing people, and now we riding and we put a slide on the devil. Get your lame self out of here. Everybody knows you fake. We about to slide on the devil. I'm putting, I got a switch and it's filled with Bible verses. That don't work. You must set yourself apart. What are you talking about? I'm loading the Glock up with John 3:16. What you doing is loading stupidity into everybody who hears your lame lyrics. Stop trying to be like the world. I'm not saying you can't make Christian hip hop, but you can't make Christian drill music. Are you stupid? You must be. So, on that note, AI is now making fun of black culture. AI is joining. Y'all got the robots making fun of us. Before they take over the world, before Skynet decides to invade us all, they thought it would be fun to make fun of black culture. You know how I know they're making fun of us? Because if you say into AI, you type in a prompt with the video prompts, typical black woman voice, it's going to say some, hey girl. How do you know? The robots know? Y'all got the robots? Knowing that we a laughable culture? And y'all asking why is you a coon? The robots know that we are failing. Skynet knows that we cannot survive in this culture, but you don't know? Let's play one of these videos, Mr. Producer, because y'all don't believe me. I see y'all guessing. This is what the robots have created. Sure, they needed a prompt, but this is what they did.
Yeah, it's real.
Where are you going?
Just gonna grab some milk.
So look, woman pregnant.
Yeah, it's real.
Where are you going?
Just gonna grab some milk.
Man goes to grab milk, never returns. They're making Disney movies with AI prompts about black culture. Let's play the other one. This one might not be from the beginning either. We'll watch it twice.
Decline? Nah, not today. Somebody got my baby out here hungry. We fixing this.
Ma'am, the system flagged your account. You'll have to wait 6 to 8 weeks.
Watch me.
From Disney and Pixar.
Decline? Says no
When
funds.
Bonatisha's EBT card lets her down,
Oh no. Not today.
Girl, you flipped the whole store.
the whole city feels it.
Look, here's the thing. Here's what y'all don't understand.
Decline?
Yeah,
Nah,
somebody
not
gonna say
today.
somebody should've raped
Somebody got my baby out here hungry. We fixing this.
Ma'am, the system flagged your account. You'll have to wait 6 to 8 weeks.
Watch me.
From Disney and Pixar.
It
Decline?
has to have a reference to know
Bonatisha's EBT card
how
lets
to
her
do
down.
the lingo, how to do the voice. Mr. Producer's looking so surprised he didn't know I was going to pull this up. It
Had no idea.
The AI, how did it know to make that woman look like that and talk like that?
You'll have to wait 6 to 8
Decline.
weeks.
How did it know to use that twang in her voice? The AI knows we ghetto. The AI knows our culture is trash. The AI know your EBT card is declined. Let's play it. Well, you know what? Play it again. This is y'all.
Not today.
Girl, you flipped the whole
The
store.
whole city feels it.
Bonetisha or Bonetisha?
Decline? Nah, not today. Somebody got my baby out here hungry. We fixing this.
Ma'am, the system flagged your account. You'll have to wait 6 to 8 weeks.
Watch me.
From Disney and Pixar.
Decline? Says no
When
funds.
Bonatisha's EBT card lets her down,
Oh no.
Not today.
Girl, you flipped the whole
the
store.
whole city feels it.
And you know what's funny? And this is, and I hate to admit this, I
Wow.
would go see this movie. 100% I would pay money, good money, big money to see Bonatisha. I would watch the whole movie unironically.
It's coming this winter.
Man, I hope it come out because I would pay for it.
Oh,
because
man.
I'm so tired of people propping up our culture as if it's not a joke. It is a joke. The robots are telling us it's a joke. We don't think it's a joke. It's a joke, man. Like, it is sad. I spent so much time in my life being sad about it that I have embraced the coonery now. I've embraced it because why should I be a part of a culture that does not like me for being me anyway? I'm black, I'm Republican, I'm conservative. I don't believe I'm married to a white woman. Why should I be a part of a culture who doesn't want me? Now, here's the reality, and some people want to take that and clip that and say, you don't want to be black. I am proud of being black. Blackhood culture, black culture is just terrible right now. And everybody's lying about it and acting like, well, no, it's salvageable. I don't know, man. Because what I view as the good things of black culture, black people would not. The fact that we were married more than white people were. The fact that we were hard workers, even though we did servant type jobs, and we had no problem with working ourselves up. I think that's great. I'm glad that we overcame so much. But then look and see where we are now. We're completely against that. We don't have that same spirit we used to have. Now everything is excuse. Look at Louder Crowder when he went into the barbershop. The discussion he had. I can't relate to those people. I just can't. I cannot relate to people who hate Charlie Kirk simply because he said the truth. If that's you and you cool with that, I don't know if I get along with people like that. I could care less if your skin color the same as mine. Bye. I'll be a coon, like the song says. So, where does this idea come from? Where do you can say, and this is what I've heard a lot of arguments say, and it's just not true. They will say, well, that's the black community. That's not what you normally see. That's outliers. If you go into everyday world, those aren't the people that really represent the black community. That's just a small minority. But then you go to a regular event, something like a graduation, something where people should be on their best behavior, where you're trying to display amount of class because the dignity of you have attained this goal that you've been trying to achieve for the last 4 years, and you finally attained it. And so you're on your best behavior. Your whole family is there. You're all dressed up. This is the classiest you could possibly act. And what does the black community do? Let's go to this video. For people who think I don't know where AI would get this from. Yeah, if you want to just make it as big as you can.
I was at a gym.
That's not the original music. Look at this. They get loose. This is a graduation. Look, you just thought it was one. This is all of it. All that different color hair. They get you down. They just get all of it, the whole class. This is the culture y'all fighting for. This is what we should have aimed to be. This is the group of people that's got all the degrees. They're doing so much better. This is what makes me sick, because it's like, yo, then when people make fun of it, they're not allowed to. When you make Bonnet Quisha a movie about her, that's shouldn't be made, right? That you shouldn't laugh at it. But then when people do this in public and put it on the internet for all the world to see because they don't have any shame. They do this at a graduation with thousands of people probably in the audience with no shame whatsoever. That's just how things are, I guess. And then when somebody laugh at it, they're racist. But you're not a coon for portraying that as the black community? You're not an Uncle Tom for selling out by making us look like straight up clowns in front of everybody doing this. But I'm the sellout for bringing it up that you're selling out. Okay. So, lack of fathers, EBT cards, people dancing and twerking on top of cars. It's a song out now talking about twerking on top of cars. Twerk on top of cars. They proud of this behavior. Let me go to something that's actually quite sad. And that's our next topic because it kind of leads into what does this behavior lead to? Who rescues the Black community? What is there any solution for this crap? Let's go to the
my neighborhood.
Woman feels, oh yeah, this.
But all because we feel safe in this environment, unfortunately, because of the things that are happening here in the city.
I think if you go down to the red.
Look, watch how I hit. Some of y'all might get mad at me.
Yeah.
And at this point, I don't give a damn. I'm not into politics. I'm not into all of that extra stuff that people be losing their life over. I ain't into all that. We human. Whatever. But I will say thank you to Trump for bringing these National Guards and doing what they're doing down here in Memphis right now. You know, for the first time in 5 years. I've been in my home for 5 years.
That's sad.
And for the first time, my kids have been able to play in the backyard and be able to do it comfortably. I haven't heard a gunshot in 2 weeks. I haven't seen strange people walk up and down the street. Just a few weeks ago, I had somebody walk on the side of my house. None of that action's going on. I haven't seen no young YNs at the stove posted. I haven't seen an infinity fly past me in weeks. I'm sitting on my porch right now, and I'm watching kids outside playing. People outside walking with their kids, stuff I ain't never seen before living in my neighborhood. But all because we feel safe in this environment, unfortunately, because of the things that are happening here in the city. I hate it to be this way, but
I hate it too.
I'm happy. I'm happy. Honestly, I truly feel that this is just a band-aid to the problem. I don't think this is going to completely fix everything. But to have a moment of peace.
Dang.
Just thank you, Jesus.
That's crazy.
Some
I
of
feel
y'all
so
might get mad at
bad.
me.
That made me. Some people would see that and feel like, oh yeah, go Trump. But what it filled me with is sadness because why should Sheila have to live like that? Why should she have to live like that? Why? She said that she's so grateful to Trump that she had even a moment's peace because he brought the feds through there. No gunshots, no crazy people around her house. She is living in like a war zone continuously. That's sad, man. Who wants to live like that? Here's the thing. Why did it take Trump having to come there for our community to clean itself up? You waiting for a big white daddy to clean things up. But yet you claiming white people do so much harm. You didn't clean it up. Let me ask you a question that's going to hurt your feelings. Where was you at, Dr. Umar? Dr. Umar Johnson, how come you didn't come there and help clean it up? Too busy building fake imaginary schools? We must stay focused, brother. We must stay focused. Swimming in the milk. Maybe he was too busy drowning in the milk to help this lady out. The reality is he's a clown and a charlatan. And everybody we uplift like that with that liberal blackity black mentality has done nothing for our communities other than complain. And then Trump come through and clean it up. And this lady said, I quote, she's happy to have a moment of peace. Where was Al Sharpton at? He's probably shucking and jiving for the Democrat white man again. These are the clowns that we propped up. Al Sharpton. Been a lame his whole life. Ain't done nothing or accomplished anything. All he did is lie. And yet, Trump came through and cleaned it up. And only for a period of time, because the feds is going to leave. After ICE is done doing what they're doing, they're going to leave. But why? It's your own people that's causing you harm. It ain't white people she live around. She live in Memphis, she said. Yeah, it ain't white people over there in they hoods tearing it up, shooting at her. She said she couldn't go. She went a whole week without hearing gunshots. For some of y'all be like, well, you know, for those who are in the suburbs, when you in the hood, it's crazy not to hear gunshots. When you in the hood, having a night where it's too quiet is almost unreal. To hear sirens in the background, gunshots, people screaming, some crackhead yelling, two people fighting. These are noises from the hood you always hear pretty much every night. And for this lady to have a moment's peace is super sad to me that she will go back to living like that. I don't want her to live like that. For people who say, oh, you a coon, you hate black women, you hate black people, you don't. I hate that we live the way we live. We can do so much better and we choose not to. We could clean up our own neighborhoods. We could lobby for better judges that hold people accountable. We could say no to crime and not prop up the music and the nonsense and the drug dealing going on in our community. We could. We have all the power to clean it up ourselves, and we wait for Trump to come clean it up for us. This lady has no recourse. This lady has no savior to come save her. And then the Republicans are bad, and I'm a coon for pointing it out. Does she deserve to be called a coon for pointing it out? Some people think so. Some people was hating on her for even bringing up the topic. That's how backwards we are in the black community. Some loser out there is mad that she pointed out that she feels safe. Tell me what type of coonery that is. A black woman cannot even speak that she feels safe without somebody saying, oh, you kissing up to the white man. That's straight up buffoonery coonery. That's going to be a new phrase on the show. That's some buffoonery coonery, tomfoolery. She can't even, I feel bad for her because it's like, dang, man, I wish she was in my neighborhood. I would. In my neighborhood, you wouldn't have to worry about that. But if she would live close to me, I would check on a woman like this. Even if she was a single mother, even if she made mistakes in the past, I would check on her and make sure she was all right, because you could tell she got a good heart and she just wants things to be good. She sounds like a follower of God too, where she was looking like, dang, man, I praise God for this moment of peace. She had a humility. She had humility in her heart. And I feel bad for people like that, because a lot of people in the hood, they're not bad people. They being held captive by bad people. It's a big difference. The problem in the black community is not that everybody is bad, is that we let the bad people speak for the rest of us and we don't condemn them and shame them enough. It is a small minority. It's too big of a minority. Might be dang 40, 45%. But even a small minority, they have too much of a voice in the black community. We don't condemn them, and we actually stand behind people like George Floyd when they do something wrong, instead of condemning them. You think there will be a George Floyd in the Asian community? Wouldn't exist. They would be like, he is not one of us. He has brought dishonor to our house. They would not play that. But yet we prop that up and make murals for that man. It tells you a lot about what we love, what we deem worthy and necessary, what we look at as heroic, what we tell our young men to aspire to be. That's not good, man. And then you get a bunch of clowns like this ruining her neighborhood. Let's read some of these comments, because I thought the comments were very positive.
Yeah, Adventure Specs commented, said, the question is why wasn't something done like this to keep families safe prior to Trump?
Exactly.
Temporary or not, this proves it is possible.
Yes.
Another one, don't let no one shame you need either. To some, it's not a good week unless someone is buried.
True.
Memphis deserves to be in peace.
Yep.
Another one, happy for you. Every American deserves to safely sit on their porch.
Yes.
I
agree with everything being said.
Right.
And I didn't go and select these comments. I just copied the whole section.
Another comment, it's just proof that we never had to live this way if the choice the Democrats made.
It's true.
This is beautiful. Don't let anyone bully you in regards to your experience.
Look at this too. My fault. I mean to interrupt you.
Good.
But this is one thing that brought me joy. And that I think that more people are becoming like me, where we talking about cultivating our own narrative, being that type of coon. I think more people are coming around to saying, listen, I'm tired of the way things are going. Even if it's a small group of black folk to saying, I am not going to be like them. Look at the comments and look how many likes it's getting. Now, I don't think all of it's black people. It's probably white people, Asian, Hispanic.
The likes are,
But the likes kind of show you that even on this lady's video, the culture is changing a little bit. They're not down with this stuff like they used to be. My fault, you can continue.
She goes on to say, so happy you feel safe. Every American deserves this.
Yes.
Another one says, I feel safer too. I'll never understand why people are against this.
I can tell you why. Because the Democrats are motivated to keep you enslaved, to keep you downtrodden, to keep you in poverty. Because if you come out of poverty, they won't need you anymore. If black people all came out of poverty and got educated and served God, the Democrats would hate you. They would hate you all. My fault. We can go on.
You deserve peace where you lay your head. Anyone having a problem with, is the problem.
Yep.
I don't live in Memphis, but I'm fighting back the tears. Watching the children outside playing brings me joy. I pray that peace will continue. That's one of the reasons I voted for Trump, because I felt that he was what we American citizens needed.
Yep.
The troops can't stay forever, but he's shown it's possible to have livable neighborhoods. Hopefully, when the guard pulls out, the residents demand that their officials do the job or be replaced.
They won't.
No, they won't. Trump is a smart man. He's proving that the Dem leaders could have solved the problem, but there's no money in saving black lives.
That's a fact.
The leaders of these cities don't want the crime to go away because they get millions from the federal government via our tax dollars to prevent crime they really don't intend to prevent.
True.
No crime, no money to launder.
Yep. It's all a game to the Democrats. And the more black people wake up to this, the more you will understand that our communities do not need these politicians. We need each other. We need to work. We need to get back to following God. Our values have to be Christian ethics. Love your neighbor. Do unto others as you would want them to do to you. When you think that way, how can you steal? If your neighbor is your brother and you love him, how can you steal against him? How can you break into his car? How can you sell your mom's couch for crack cocaine? You can't do those things when you truly have Christian ethics. We have to do these. How can you choose a man because he's a thug and he's shooting up the block and he's selling heroin out his mom's backyard? You won't choose a man like that if you had Christian ethics. How can you be a thug who sells heroin and steals from other people around him and destroys his own community if you have Christian ethics? You won't do that. Jesus Christ is the center of all the solutions of our problems. And I hate to say it, people have heard this before, but the reason why I don't have much faith that any of these things will overturn that city is simply because we don't even know the solutions. You give people, Democrats, oh, we need more money in education. No. Oh, we need to just redistribute this and do that and let people out of jail who've been there for a long time so they can be a better father to their kids. The people in jail ain't gonna be a better father to their kids because you let them out of jail. If we don't deal with the real solution, we will just create more problems. And the reason why you need more people like me, like you if you're listening, We need more people to stand up against this evil society we live in. I'm done trying to pretend like the society, especially black culture, is good and it's okay and we can keep going on like this. We will not survive if we don't turn back to Jesus Christ. And honestly, with our rebellion and our tough neck spirit, I don't think we will survive. Every city is like this, every major one. There's no city you can go in, every major black area, whether it be the south side of Chicago, Memphis, Miami, Fort Lauderdale, Florida, Baltimore, New York, Charlotte. If you can go to any major city and you will see the same problems. How do you fix that? I would love to debate somebody on this. How do you fix this without Jesus Christ? So, with all that being said, I thought those topics were very relevant to the idea of being a coon. What is our version of coon? Cultivating our own narratives. I thought they were all very, very relevant. And I would love to get some discussion. If you like what you hear today, leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe, share, please. I want to get the conversation going. If you think anything differently, or if you agree with me, let me know in the comment section below. I'm glad you guys are here today. This has been Jack at the Righteous Edge with Mr. Producer. I'll see you guys next time.